It looks like the growth in Europe is much more moderate than in other parts of the world, like in the Americas and in Asia. I would like to know from you, what are the reasons for this, in your opinion?
I don't think it's geopolitical that influences the situation in Europe a lot worse than in the US. I think we have a cultural issue where we in Europe are a lot more risk adverse. We don't like taking chances. We take a lot longer time to adapt and accept new technologies, and that put us behind. We don't have the same competitive mindset. So I don't really think this is a political issue. This is something that is in our European minds and something that we have to work with and change if we want to move forward.
Yeah, so I think one thing is we have to make differences between Germany and the rest of Europe. I think in Germany we have the regulatory framework that makes us hard to get in front of new technologies. On the other hand, we are short on employees, so it's hard to find specialists to implement such new technologies. That makes us, for us especially, a problem to get ahead with that interesting technology.
So Germany has partly fallen behind the rest of Europe. Do you also see that, Adrien or Ralf?
Yes, if you look at other countries in Europe, the permission processes, energy costs, are much simpler. Even promotions from the governments are there. Germany is not doing that yet, at least not in a larger scale. And these are frameworks that are missing in Germany. So we the same thing. But on the main question, we see another trend too. If you look, of course, everybody's talking about EV. If you look at China started, it goes around the globe a little bit, US now, and now it's coming to Europe. So what we will see, I think, in the next years, we will not have enough integrators in Europe to do all that work. And it was mentioned from Marina that the engineering backlog in Germany is 1 year. So if you look at that, it's clear we do not have enough integrators to do all the work.
And I think we did not mention the inflation, but European countries are also the countries suffering the most from the inflation. If we compare ourselves for Chinese or Japanese countries, so it has a huge impact, I guess, on the development of the markets itself.
We started a discussion about bringing back the resilience, also by bringing back manufacturing to Europe. Do you already see some signs that production is coming back to Europe?
So yes, we see it. I think with the COVID situation, we clearly see that people are more sensitive to have the production closer than from the users. So it started, I think, with the pharmaceutical industries, with the vaccine medicine production, where people try to minimize the sanitary risk and better manage it by having local production. And clearly, what is the main challenge for the industry to localize in Europe is potentially the cost of labor. And clearly here, the automation system can play a big role to maintain a good competitiveness of the industry, even if producing in Europe. The second big advantage I see is also I would say the employee in Europe does not have the same criteria when looking for a job. We were speaking about a labor shortage. So for sure, all the non-added value tasks, we will have more difficulty in Europe to find people to do it manually, and for sure, automation will be also a key solution for the industries.
And I fully agree, it depends on the country and the industry, where we really see reshoring. Medical, pharmaceutical was mentioned. There's some other industries that are doing that, and I think we will see a lot of automation in areas where we have not seen it yet. So a lot of new applications are being developed. I mean, many of us go to a supermarket in the morning and buy bread, or in Germany, pretzels and sandwiches and stuff. This stuff people do not want to do anymore manually. So we will see automation coming closer to us in the daily life, but these applications also need to be developed. So, and of course, very important point is the trade skillsmen, we don't have that anymore, too many. So we need to educate the people ourselves with schools, with universities, with Chamber of Commerces, whatever. So this is a big task for, I think, the entire automation industry. But on the other side, I think we also all agree that the automation industry is booming and will be booming for the next years.
I think I see this maybe a little bit different. I agree that there is a lot of talking about reshoring or nearshoring to Europe. I also agree that we need to do it. It needs to happen. But I don't really see it, at least not in the figures that I have access to. I don't really see it happening yet. So it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of, okay, we need to do this, but there's actually very little action at this time.
Thomas, as a user, do you see it more as a reshoring to Germany? You've been quite critical about Germany before. Or do you see it more likely that we are looking at the nearshoring to especially parts of Eastern Europe?
I think we have to difference because if we are thinking about medical industry, there we can see that it's coming back. To Germany, if we are looking about chip industry, it's coming back to Germany, but the government has to make it attractive that these people are coming back. That is the right way. As a medium-sized company, I am against that. I'm always telling the political people we need attractive framework on infrastructure and all that stuff, and let the work do the companies. Don't start to make the market a little bit with extra money, no more as competitive as it has to be. And then I see a trend to Eastern Europe. It's always going more east. Not back to Germany. And at the third point for me is we have to also to look on the American continent. I think if things are coming back from Asia, it not has to be necessarily in Europe or Germany. It can also be on the American continent.
Good news for our American colleagues. Yeah, we already talked about the staff shortage driving or also hampering automation, and where we're really in Europe facing a dramatic demographic shift. So what do you think should and could be done to overcome this challenge? And in particular, what's the robotics industry doing? Enrico?
Yeah, just I think on the demographic development, I think that for society as a whole is a challenge. For us as an industry, it's a huge positive driver. But we need to take that driver, and I think what we need to do within the industry is we need to take the responsibility of making automation a lot easier accessible for all the end users. That will solve the issues we have with the demographic development, but it will also solve the issues that were mentioned earlier today about not having enough experts to install the robots and do all the application programming. So we need to take as an industry the responsibility of making things easier for the end users.
I cannot agree more, and we have to look at we as an industry have to look at the younger generation now. How are they used to work with electronics? They don't want to program code anymore. They want to swipe.
Yeah.
Literally. So we have to look at these ways. I mean, it was already mentioned, easy teaching, hand guidance for robots to make it much easier. So this is a task for the industry, of course. But again, education. We do world skills, Euro skills, Olympics to really attract younger people from universities, from schools. And I think we have to go much further, start even younger to make automation attractive to them, to make it interesting for them, to make it more playful, that they can, because this is the next generation who will do that, who will program robots, who will maintain robots. So it's a big task, but I think it's also a big chance to do that. Maybe one sentence, especially geared to Germany. Germany, we've seen, is the largest market, but also the most difficult. If you try to work with a Chamber of Commerce, who is doing the exams for the apprentices, there's not one organization. It's every local organization you have to talk to discuss that. And that makes it very, very difficult, makes it takes very long. So if this can be changed, especially in Germany, it would make things a lot easier and a lot better for the German market anyway. And we have a lot of integrators located in Germany. They work globally, of course, and they're looking for people and cannot find people. So this is really a framework that has to be looked at, in my opinion.
And I think, yeah, we also have a structural issue, at least in Germany. I mean, I have 2 boys, and the younger one is now 10 years old. He went through kindergarten. He now went through primary school. And all the persons he had to deal with, both in kindergarten and in primary school, well, they are not so technology embracing that I would really trust them to make my boys attracted by technology. And I think that is probably one of the not too easy overcome issues we have, that we have parts of the society that are just not really interested in technology, and those are those that take care of our children in the first years, where you can really set directions. So I don't have any answer how to approach this, but I think we have to think about how to enable those that could be multipliers for this passion about technologies with the youngest parts of the society. Do you have any ideas?
I think companies have to go ahead. We have to go to kindergarten, to school, and we have to show these young people how nice and attractive robotics are.